All right, it's time for another edition of Mike Finds Things. We're back on the porch. I've got some stuff I did find at local estate sales and a couple records I did find at the local thrift store I like to go to sometimes, where occasionally I do still find stuff. And there's some interesting stuff in here, and there's some stuff that everybody kind of knows. We'll go into the 45s first. The other day I drove out to Riverside because there was no good sales locally with records. And what's funny is I ran into another guy out there that's from out here that did the same thing. So there's actually a lot of record guys. They were piling through the LPs. I went through the 45s. Another guy started going through the 45s too. So I have no idea what he got. I got some interesting stuff, and we're going to go through that. I didn't get any LPs at that sale just because it's like there were so many LP guys. I figured they already grabbed all the good stuff anyway. So let's get into it. Also, make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave some comments. And also subscribe, because I'm almost at 1,000 still. I keep saying that. I've been like within 10 subs of 1,000 for like a month now or something, it seems. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell your friend about it, because like I said, we're trying to get there. I realize at 1,000 you don't make a lot on the videos, because I know that from my other channel, but still. Kind of make me feel good. This one is one that normally comes with a jacket or a sleeve that has the information on it. It was unfortunately loose. It does go for good money. It's really interesting. It's Halloween themed, which we're already past Halloween. I still got the Halloween wreath up for some reason. We're going to switch to Christmas here this weekend. I was already talking to my daughter about that. It is Sounds Records Music for Monsters, with the tracks. It's like an EP. First side is Ghoul Glide, Skeleton Dance, Banshee Love Call. And on the other side is Dracula Drag and Dinner Music for Monsters. This one has a lot of theremin, and yes, it's on green vinyl. So, I guess it goes for good money. On Discogs, low of 10, mid of 30, high of 125. My notes are lots of theremin. So if you like a lot of creepy theremin Halloween stuff, that's great to throw on. I guess it also came on an LP as well. But yeah, like I said, look for the EP. Unfortunately, I don't have the EP sleeve. I did find one without the EP sleeve. The guy was asking like 35 on or something. I don't know what you would call it. Most of these 45s were a little either dirty or had a few scratches. There was a lot of them there that I wanted to buy that were just they didn't look like they would play, so I just left them. Next one from 62, we got a Doo-Wop on Raven Records. I always like to grab this one. I didn't stick around to look up a lot of these. It was very tight. There was a lot of people in the house. It was very claustrophobic, so I just took a chance. Low of $1, mid of 5, high of 11. This one's got a few scratches, but it looks all right. The Harp Tones, Sunday Kinda Love on Raven, and Mambo Boogie is the B-side. This one the label's starting to wear out a little bit. So that one has a little bit of value on a Doo-Wop. There's a few Doo-Wop records in here from 62. This was actually in a really nice part of Riverside, like the old part with all the historic houses. In fact, the house was gorgeous. It was actually on the market. I have no idea what they wanted for it, but it was a gorgeous 2-story house in the historic district, not far from downtown, kind of like up on a hill a little bit. So if you've ever been to Riverside, you kind of know what area I'm talking about. From 65, we got a soul record. Not a high value on this one. I always pick up the Tams because they did do some Northern Soul stuff. Oh, this isn't really Northern Soul so much. Doesn't have that dance beat. Unlove You, the Tams. Low of $1, mid of 5, high of 19. This one still has an old price tag for 29 cents from whatever they got it at originally. And What Do You Do? The Tams. On an ABC Paramount. I think I paid $1 each for these 45s, if I remember right. Plus, I did drive. I went to a second sale in Riverside while I was out there. That was on the second day. They had jukeboxes. The guy collected the records. The guy was not into good music. He had a lot of 78s. Nothing good. None of the 45s were good. He had a jukebox I almost bought, but I was like, I just don't need another juke. In fact, I'm going to do a jukebox video eventually, but I haven't gotten to that either. He did have a very nice Seaberg Model R that Was very reasonably priced, needed some work, and some of the pieces were missing. Nothing you couldn't get if you look hard enough, but I just don't need another one unless it's like something spectacular and rare, which that is not. From 57, a Doo-Wopper, low of 5, mid of 25, high of 69. So this one's got a bit of a value. It's on Lamp Records, the Sharps. Our love is here to stay. So a little bit of value on a Doo-Wopper. I realize Doo-Wop stuff used to be worth a lot more, I guess, in the 90s. And I guess the prices have kind of dropped, but I still like Doo-Wop. This one's actually Japan sales out of Tokyo. Actually, I didn't even look up the right pressing then, because this one, there's a few Tokyo pressings, Japanese pressings. So this one I just noticed was a Japanese pressing. It looks like someone put a cigarette there. Like, unfortunately, it's in the dead wax, or it got burnt or something. But who knows what the value is on that one? I just noticed that. Hopefully it's just dirt. Let me look at it again. Yeah, it looks like somebody burnt something or left something hot there. Let's see. Also, this week, I have to film Friday and Saturday. I haven't found any good sales locally that aren't on those 2 days. If it does rain Saturday, which they say it's probably going to rain later in the afternoon, if it rains in the morning, I'll be able to go to a sale because whatever car show I'm filming, which is in Laverne, will probably not be happening or won't be anything worth filming. Usually if it rains, the car shows are canceled. From 62, we got a Soul record, low of 2, mid of 18, high of 49 on this one, so a little bit of a value. It is the values on Invicta Records. It's like it's in pretty good shape. Some of these do need to be cleaned. Return to Me, which is, Return to Me, you know the song. I have to sing it before I get copyrighted. And That's the Way, which is their own song. So a little bit of value on that one on a 62 Soul record. This is kind of the stuff I usually find. I look for on Mike Finds things. But lately, like I said, there hasn't been any good sales. I'm hoping towards the end of the year we find some more stuff. We will see. 59 Doo-Wopper. Kind of a lower value. Low of a buck, mid of 6, high of 20. This one is some light scratches, but nothing crazy. It does need to be cleaned. You've seen this band or this group before. If you like Doo-Wop, it is the Dubs Chapel of Dreams on Gone Records. On the multicolored Gone label, you usually see the dark with the black label one. Is There a Love for Me is the other side on that one. So a little bit of value. Here's one that I write down. Oh, this one I didn't have a value because it's another Japanese pressing. In fact, I need to go back and look up that other one because I didn't realize it was Japanese pressing because it had the same label as the U.S. label. This one's Lee Andrews and the Hearts with Teardrops, which would normally be on a chess label, one of the chess labels. This one is Japan Sales Company Limited Tokyo, and their label is Falcon with Teardrops. So I'll hold that up because you're not going to see that label too much since it's a Japanese label. And The Girl Around the Corner. So hopefully it's a license. Hopefully it's not a bootleg, but Japanese stuff's usually licensed. It's usually when you find the Taiwanese ones that they're bootlegs. Like we had a few of those, about a year ago? We had Vanilla Fudge LP on colored vinyl, and we had 2 Junior Walker and the All-Stars on colored vinyl, and I can't remember what else. I do run across those every once in a while here. 1957 Doo-Wopper on Everlast, low of a buck, mid of 9, high of 50. This one she might clean up. Why Do You Cry? The Charts. And Dance Girls, the other side on that one. Fortunately, none of these were in sleeves when I got them. So a lot of teenagers used to get these. They just take them out. They throw the sleeves away, unfortunately. I know when I was a kid, we used to do that on 45s. It wasn't like we weren't thinking, oh, years from now, we're going to want this. This one's dirty. I think that's dirt. Oh, that's definitely dirt. Okay, I got to clean this one up. This is a 57 Doo-Wopper. Another one, Lamp one's on Japan Sales Company. 57 Doo-Wop. The U.S. one is a low of a buck, mid of 6, high of 20. Got a whole lot of loving to do by the lovers. I said I wish I'd have caught that earlier. They must have been in the service or something. And Darling, it's wonderful. You see a lot of records coming. I mean, a while back we had ROCK by Bill Haley from a sale earlier in the year. A Japanese pressing, as well as a couple Japanese pressing Elvis 45s from this one sale in Camarillo that I went to on the way up to Santa Maria for the big Cruise and National show. Those were kind of fun to find. In fact, I found a Crow's 45, not the one that was the other. I can't remember which one it is now. I found some good stuff at that sale. I found yet another copy of Shaboom by the Chords on 78, but a really nice copy at that sale as well. We got 56, an R&B record on Modern. A low of a buck, mid of 6, high of 25. It is Heading Home by Shirley Gunther and the Flares. So any of you guys who collect Doo-Wop know the Flares, the LA group. Richard Berry was in that group, and of course he did the original version of Louie Louie, and he wrote it as well. I Want You is the B-side on that one. Shirley Gunther and the Flares. This one's actually in pretty good shape. This one looks like it's going to clean up pretty well. It's got one of those like compliments of Jack Carlton stickers. Giving out some records. So that's kind of cool to find. I like to find the stuff with the Flares or Richard Berry on it. You can look up the history of them online. They did a lot of stuff. He also did the original. Richard Berry also wrote and did the original version of How Love Will Travel. If you don't know, that's another tidbit of the Flares / Richard Berry trivia. You can go like this whole. You can go a little deep dive into the Flares. From 1965, Soul Promo, low of 15, mid of 30, high of 57. So this one's got a bit of a value. It is Barbara and the Browns, My Lover. Like I said, it's a white label promo on Stax. You can understand why I grabbed that one. Fortunately, they wrote all over it because it's probably a DJ copy. And I Don't Want Trouble is the other side. And they scratched out the not for sale part, because that would totally, like anyone's going to find out, but all right, whatever. Actually, they scratched it out. And the plug side was My Lover, according to this. Unfortunately, they scratched out the not for sale. So must have gone through like a used record store or something, or what do you call it? Could have been a DJ copy. Sometimes or jukebox copy. They did send promo copies to jukebox operators. And a lot of times their records would wind up, the ones they didn't, when they're done with them, would wind up in these stores where they sold like jukebox records. So from 56 on Rama, which you usually find a lot of doo-wop and stuff on that, an R&B record, low of 2, mid of 4, high of 20. There's a lot of wants on this one, and the actual prices where people are asking for these start at 32 and go up from there. So that one I would take a grain of salt on those Discogs pricing. Do your own research if you find this one. It is G, What a Boy by the Joy Tones with the Royale Sita chorus on Rama. There you go. Usually when you find a Rama label, it's always the Crows. It's always G by the Crows. That's usually what you find. And this is really the end. It looks like it'll clean up pretty well too on Rama. In fact, another guy grabbed this, and then he put it back. Which was like, I saw him grab it, I'm like, oh, I would have grabbed that. It's a Rama label. Then he put it back, and I was like, yep, I'm grabbing that one. I didn't even look up the value. Some of these guys will go in the other rooms, look up the value on everything. So you got to take a chance, especially when they're cheap, You don't have all day for that. From 61, you got a Doo-Wopper, a little bit low value, low of a buck, mid of 2, high of 20. To Be Loved by the Pentagons on Donna, which is, I guess it's a later press. I guess they were on a different label before that. And Down at the Beach. This one's in really good shape. So I grabbed that. I bet you I got another copy of that somewhere. 61, Doo-Wopper. A couple more 45s before we get into... In fact, we have one CD this week, but it's an interesting one, so I left it in here. Usually if I buy CDs, I don't put it in the video, but in fact, I bought 2 CDs this week. One of them wasn't really interesting that I gave to my daughter, but the other one, you'll see what it is. Especially if you like 50s R&B. 1964 soul record, low of 2, mid of 8, high of 17, and it was returned, so it's got a little hole drilled in it. Maxine Brown on Wand with Little Girl Lost. Again, it looks like it'll clean up pretty well. And You Upset My Soul. Well, I put out a lot of interesting. They did the Kingsman stuff, of course, but you'll find like some interesting soul records on Blonde sometimes. At least I know we have over the years. If you go back and watch the old videos, we've found plenty of that stuff. Here's one, has many wants, didn't have a sold comp on Discogs. The prices people are asking for this on Discogs start at $40, go to $101. 56 Doo-Wop on Aladdin. Unfortunately, the label took a little hit. This is a good one. I listened to this one. Ray Pearl by the Jivers. It's a great doo-wopper on Aladdin, so an LA label. And Dear Little One. This side has a little bit more scratches on it. There you go, the Jivers. The name like the Jivers, you're pretty certain it's going to be a good record. And that was a good one to check out. I believe that they have a scan of that on they have it on YouTube, so you can actually look that up. A lot of these, if you want to listen to them, you can actually just go type in the artist and name on YouTube, and it'll pop up. Somebody's already put the record on there. 1960 Doo-Wop. This was a hit record. I probably was just pulling records, just trying to get out of there. Low of 25 cents. There's that guy that sells a record for 25 cents on Discogs. Mid of 3, high of 15. Image of a Girl by the Safaris with the Phantoms Band on Eldo Records. That was actually a hit, so not a high value on that one. Usually on the 45 doo-wop-y stuff, like the hits aren't the ones that are worth the money. It's usually the ones that aren't the hits, unless there's like a certain pressing or something. 4 Steps to Love on this one. And we found that copy of Pipeline by the Chantays that was a before they went major label, that was actually had quite a bit of value, which I still have that record too. That's always cool to find. It's always kind of cool to find those ones. And then some of like the Beach Boys, there's always different copies of the Beach Boys Surfing on like Coal Picks. There's so many different variations, and some of them are actually kind of rare. So that's another one to look out for if you find the pre-Capital Beach Boys stuff. From 62, a soul record. We don't have any of that in this pile, though. 1960, this is the last 45 before we get into the LPs. 62 soul record from a buck, mid of 9, high of 28. I started rounding off the things, too, because it's when I start using the cents, it gets weird. Unless the record sold for 29 cents like that other one, or 25 cents. A Handful of Memories, Baby Washington on Sue Records. If you don't know, a lot of times you want to take a chance on the ones with the minor labels. Although there are I have had major label records that had quite a bit of value as well. Like ones that weren't pressed very much. Careless Hands is the B-side from 62. That was actually a great sale for finding soul records. I think the LPs, there was a few soul records like in the pictures. I go on statesales.net, and that's where I look for my estate sales. There was one estate sale this morning with 45s, but the LPs looked terrible. They looked like a bunch of easy listening and just random like Lawrence Welky stuff. So I didn't bother going. Plus it was kind of far to like take a chance, especially on a weekday LA traffic. Now we're going to go to a sale I went to in Covina, which wasn't far from me. In fact, from where I dropped my kid, I went out right after I dropped my kid off from school. I was one of the first people through the door. Now, in the listing, you could see the records were in the living room in this cabinet. And so I went right for the living room. And oh, no, we moved them to a bedroom. And by the time I got over, another lady was already pulling stuff. Even though it was like the second person through the door, which kind of made me angry. In fact, she grabbed a Led Zeppelin in through the outdoor with the paper bag thing on it still, which I was not happy about. But I was like, why'd you move them? I'm like, everybody I know does that. Like, they look in the pictures to see where the item they want, what room it might be in, and then they go straight for it. And I've missed out on stuff like that before, other items. I my neighbor's kids waving at me. All right, a lot better than a what do you call it when we get a gardener or trash days tomorrow. So that's why I wanted to do this today. This was from '81. I didn't find anything that like sets the world on fire at this sale. Just stuff that's kind of fun, mostly '80s or '70s stuff. Daryl Hall, John Oates, Private Eyes. You know this album, but it's so minty. I had to grab it. I think they charged me like $1 or $2 each for these. I can't go for that. It's on this one. Of course, Private Eyes. What's the other one everybody knows on here? Those are probably the two everybody knows on there. But Daryl Hall, John Oates, Private Eyes. They're watching you. I'm not going to get too loud. All right. 1983, another one from the 80s that I think everybody that grew up in the era remembers or had or knew somebody that had. Huey Lewis and the News Sports. This one's got Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul, I Want a New Drug, If This Is It. Those are probably ones everybody knows on that one. And the bar they used for the photograph still exists, I guess. I watched a thing on like some guy went to like the same bar. He went to all these different I think it's in the Bay Area, and like they did like a Bay Area like music. What do you call it? Video like on different locations and stuff. So I guess that bar you can go in there and it still kind of looks like it did in the Huey Lewis album cover. Okay, we're gonna roll into the next one. We got the Doobie Brothers from '78. A lot of these, when they're common records, I don't bother sitting there looking for the correct pressing. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Doobie Brothers, Minute by Minute. This one pops up a lot because I mean it's got Minute by Minute. It's got What a Fool Believes on it. So this is a pretty common record. One everybody would like to have if you're getting into vinyl, since a lot of people like the Doobie Brothers, especially with like yacht rock type stuff getting more popular, as well as Michael McDonald, that sort of thing. So it has every reason to be in someone's album collection, but they pressed a lot of copies of it. So next we're going to go into a few soundtrack records. So we got, first we got Rocky. I didn't even bother, another one. They pressed a lot of copies. It was mint. It's Rocky. I grabbed it. It was cheap. So the next record we got, this one was a returned, actually. It's got a return punch in it. It is Rocky 2. Yep, we got a theme going here. And, Rocky 2 soundtrack. All right. We'll go to the next one. Next one, I did actually look up, this one's from '82, and this one I actually had on cassette when it came out, Rocky 3. So with the Eye of the Tiger, and it's got a couple songs by Frank Stallone, Take You Back and Pushin' by Frank Stallone. So it's well worth the price of admission on the Rocky 3 soundtrack. What's it worth? God only knows. But it's got Eye of the Tiger. And my Survivor story is that I almost got to see them live. They played at the bar on the Navy base I was stationed at back in the 90s, and I saw it said Survivor. I said, I can't be that Survivor. They're playing the random like bar on base at a Navy base, and it was. Some guy went. He's like, no, it was actually Survivor. I was like, oh, okay. So I almost got to see them live in the 90s. We have another band coming up in a couple records that I did actually see live back in the 90s while I was in the Navy. So we'll get to that one. From '72, nope, it's not another Rocky soundtrack. I meant to tease that. I'm not going to go back and fix that. It is '72. It's a later pressing. It's not like an early pressing of this one, but it is the Doobie Brothers with Toulouse Street. This one with Listen to Music, Rocking Down the Highway, Jesus Is Just All Right. So early Doobie Brothers. It's got like naked women on the gatefold, so we won't show you that because YouTube might not like it. So Toulouse Street, early Doobie Brothers. I didn't have that one yet, so I grabbed it. There's one from 1974. A group I did see Santana. I saw him at the Puyallup County Fair. I won a contest on the Navy base to guess who wins the Oscars, and I got first choice of what concert I wanted to go to, because I guess the Navy got like tickets for the different concerts at the Puyallup Fair in Washington State. Not really a county, but this one's Santana. I can't remember the name of this album. This one's 74 is Borboleta. So I'll show you that because it doesn't say the name of the album on the cover. But it's not a Santana album you usually find, but cool to find anyway. I said when I saw Santana, that was before he made his big comeback. You know, back in the late '90s. I think it was the mid '90s. I saw them. Went with a friend of mine. Of course, you know what you're going to get with Carlos Santana. So, okay, another soundtrack, and no, it's not Rocky, but it's one I do like to pick up if I find these. Said people, it's obviously it's a collectible to people who enjoy this movie as well. Star Wars, it's the soundtrack. So this one, of course, has double album set, all the music from Star Wars, gatefold I can show you. You know, that sort of thing. Star Wars. So, and it's a mint copy. So, yeah, I grabbed it, even though I've got a couple copies of that. So that was the Covina sale that was, I guess from where I dropped my kid off from school was about 15 or 20 minutes. So it wasn't too far out of my way. Now we're going to roll into, we got one more sale, which is 2 LPs and a CD and like 3 records from the thrift store. Here's a weird one. I always say check the CDs. Check those CDs because you never know what you're going to find. This is, now this one's kind of confusing. It is called Bo Diddley as a Songwriter, and that's what it looks like. Now, if you go looking up Bo Diddley as a Songwriter CD, it doesn't look like that. They had, this is a US. Now, there's a different one. It's got different stuff on it out of the UK and Japan. I believe they had pressings on a CD. That one's way more common. This one was actually a compilation executive producer was actually Marshall Chess, from Chess Records, and what he managed the Rolling Stones. And it's Bo Diddley. Some of the songs are Bo Diddley. It's on Arc Music Group. They have their website. I looked up the website. The website doesn't work anymore. Arc Music Group, and it's Bo Diddley. And there's different versions of. There's also versions of Bo Diddley songs done as covers, like by the New York Dolls doing "Pills." George Thorogood and the Destroyers. There's a couple of them. Of course, "Who Do You Love's" on there. I guess it's got I don't know if you can even look up the track listing. I only found one copy of this, and the weird thing is it's a promo on the CD and on the booklet. It says for promotional use only, not for sale. I'm not sure if they even sold these. I found one other guy in the UK that has one of these, and he was asking like $10, $9 or $10 for it. So I'm not sure if it's. But obviously, I like Bo Diddley, and it's kind of a weird one. I don't think I will ever see this ever again, and you probably won't see one either, because I can't imagine they did very many of these. I can only find one copy for sale. I had to really deep dive because it kept coming up with the other Bo Diddley as a Songwriter CD, the one out of the UK, which is a different album, or it's still Bo Diddley. It's still the same idea where it's covers of Bo Diddley songs. So. Kind of a weird one. Doesn't look like it was even played. Even the case was good. And the other CD I got that sale was Dead Man's Party, Oingo Boingo, which I gave to my daughter. Which, if you watched last week's video, when I was doing through some of the records I bought years ago, we had one copy of that on LP. Another sale. This is the same sale as I got the CD at. It was like 15 minutes from my house, and. I literally thought I was the only person there looking for records. Nope, there was a lot of people going through the records. And the LPs were mostly easy listening stuff. I did pick up another copy of Quiet Village by Martin Denny because it was in good condition. This is a mono copy. Not sure what the value. I don't think I had much. People still want Martin Denny. It's a really nice copy on Liberty. And I got a Martin Denny. Oh, sorry, that one has a value. I did write it down. Low 2, mid of 750, high of 33. That's one of the more common Martin Denny's. Here's one I did not have by Martin Denny, which I found a few Martin Denny's I didn't have lately. From 66, low of 3, mid of 7, high of 25. It's a stereo copy of Hawaii Goes a Go-Go by Martin Denny. So it's got a little bit more upbeat dance rhythm to Martin Denny. And this one actually has a Sears special sticker on the cellophane, and it looks like they sold it, I guess, for, I can't see if it's $7.99 or $1.99. And we'll peel the Sears sticker off. But I left that on there because it's, check out the Sears special sticker. So it was $1.99. But Hawaii Goes a Go-Go. This is kind of a fun one. You can almost get away with playing this like in a surf set. Some of these tracks. But not a Martin Denny I've ever come across or remember coming across. So nice to find that. Not a crazy value, but I don't know, it's fun. So we got it. Here's a, okay, now we're going to go into the thrift store. The thrift store I like to go to. Occasionally I'll still score there. Lately they haven't been putting out a lot of records, or at least maybe they're just putting out on days I don't go. From 1982, we've got double LP set live, Blue Oyster Cult Extraterrestrial Live. And I think they charge $3 a record there, unless it's something they know. I don't think they knew who this was. It does have a promotional copy stamp on it. The records are regular. They're not like white label or anything. I'm not going to pull it out. The records are normal label. They're not stamped promotional. They're not white label. But it has the promotional stamp, which means it might have been a giveaway, like a radio station giveaway. It's got, like, of course, it's got "Don't Fear the Reaper" for those of you guys who need more cowbell. You know, you got a fever. The only prescription is more cowbell. That one will suit you for it. Got a little Blue Oyster Cult. There's a rock record that is a promo that is white label from 1979. The promo copy goes for low of 4, mid of 8, high of 25. You know this group. Aerosmith, Night in the Ruts. This one was like $4 for some reason. Like I said, they're putting higher prices on ones that they've heard of. So I'm guessing that's why Aerosmith got that treatment. But I did not have this album. I don't have a lot of Aerosmith. I think we talked about that when I went through my records, the old section of my record collection. So I grabbed that. So it's a white label demonstration copy. Night in the Ruts by Aerosmith. And the last one, it's actually a 2-album set. I'm not taking this thing apart though. It's from 72. It is, what is this? The London Symphony Orchestra and Chamber Choir with guest soloists. It's Tommy. Yes, it's got Pete Townsend on it. I think it's got like Ringo Starr. They got all these guests doing the characters from Tommy. This one actually has I'll take it apart. Why not? This is like the last thing on the video. It's got it's not in the greatest, like the actual thing it slides into isn't in the greatest shape. Still, I think I only paid like $3 for this, so I'm not going to complain. And it does actually have the book. So the book is probably missing quite a bit. There you go. It's got all the psychedelic artwork in there. It's almost like so. This one has Pete Townsend. Who else would you know? Steve Winwood's on this one. Richie Havens, Roger Daltrey, John Entwistle, Ringo Starr, Rod Stewart, Richard Harris. Those are probably the bigger names you're gonna know. Kind of a cool set, and it's even got like lyrics in here and the different all these crazy psychedelic photos and pictures. I think I read that like Ringo Starr does Uncle Ernie or something, which is kind of cool. I couldn't remember. I can't remember what it said he did. You can look this up. I think you can probably find this is probably on like Spotify or something, or iTunes if you really want to give it a listen. I always like the Who. I've seen the Who I don't know how many times. 4 times maybe. Every time I see them, they're at the Hollywood Bowl. So I think every time I've seen them, they was at the Hollywood Bowl. But I always like the Who, so picked that up because I didn't have this one. Obviously, I had the Tommy album already, even though we haven't gotten to the W's yet in my record collection. I do have that. So that's what I have this week. I'm hoping I can find some stuff. Otherwise, I'll either do the jukebox video finally, or I'll do the next whatever letters in my record collection, which I do want to get through so I can start refiling, reorganizing all that stuff. Once I get through there, I can work on that. We got a lot of great other stuff I'm sure I'll find on the channel that I don't even know what it is yet because I haven't found it yet. So make sure you like the video, make sure you're subscribed, leave some comments, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.